There are things I wish I could tell my grandchildren. Not just the surface stories or the cheerful memories, but the quiet truths, the soft wisdom that only comes with time. Because life after 50, after 60, after 70, it isn't just about slowing down. It's about waking up in a different season of life, one where everything familiar feels slightly shifted, where mirrors show someone we're still learning to recognize, where our hearts hold both gratitude and grief at once. This is the part of life that no one really prepares us for. The part where we say goodbye to the roles we carried for decades, mother, father, provider, caretaker, and start asking quietly, who am I now? It's easy to feel invisible in this world. Easy to believe that because our hair has grayed or our bodies softened, that somehow we matter less. But I want to tell you from the deepest place in my spirit that this part of your life holds a sacred beauty too. I remember when I turned 67, there was no dramatic moment, no sudden realization. Just a quiet understanding. The time was no longer something I could take for granted. My joints ached a little more, my sleep was lighter, and my thoughts sometimes wandered to the past, to what I did right and what I wish I had done differently. Menopause had already changed my body and my mind in ways that no one really talked about when I was younger. The mood swings, the dry skin, the shift in libido. But more than that, it was the emotional rewiring. I no longer wanted to be everything for everyone. I wanted, for the first time, to just be me. And for men in this season, I've seen how they too carry things in silence. The quiet frustration of a body that doesn't respond the way it once did. The loss of sexual confidence. The loneliness that can come from emotional distance in long-term relationships or from living alone after years of companionship. One of the most meaningful conversations I had recently was with a man named Arthur. He's 72 now. He told me that for a long time, he believed his days of connection were over. His wife had passed 5 years earlier, and he'd settled into a routine that looked peaceful from the outside, but felt empty inside. He said, I wasn't lonely because I was alone. I was lonely because I didn't feel like me anymore. Then one day, he joined a community gardening group, not to find connection, just to stay active. But over time, he found more than movement. He found meaning. People started calling him Mr. Arthur with affection. He started teaching younger volunteers how to prune and compost. He laughed again. And one afternoon, over fresh strawberries, he held a woman's hand for the first time in years. He told me, I didn't fall in love. I fell into life again. That's what I want my grandchildren to know. That life keeps unfolding even when we think we're finished blooming. That intimacy doesn't retire. It evolves. It becomes slower, more soulful, more about presence than performance. You see, we live in a world that praises youth, smooth skin, quick bodies, fast achievements. But it forgets the quiet majesty of aging. The kind of beauty that can't be bought or filtered. The beauty of wisdom-lined faces, of eyes that have seen sorrow and still know how to shine. And yes, there are regrets. There are days I wish I'd spoken more kindly to myself. That I'd worn the dress even when I didn't feel thin enough. That I'd said, I love you more freely. That I'd been braver when it came to intimacy, not just physical touch, but emotional closeness. Some relationships drifted, some changed, some faded like an old song, but others, surprised me, deepened over time. I've learned that emotional intimacy doesn't always come naturally in long-term partnerships. Sometimes we have to relearn each other. I remember a couple, John and Mary, who had been married for 45 years. Mary said they lived together like polite roommates for a while. Meals, small talk, TV. But touch, eye contact, vulnerability, it had vanished. Then one night she asked him gently, "Do you still see me?" He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I never stopped. I just didn't know how to reach you anymore." That became the beginning of their second chapter. They started going for evening walks. They touched hands again. They shared stories from their childhood that they had never told before. Mary said, "I fell in love with the man beside me, not because he changed, but because we chose each other again." It takes courage to reopen our hearts, to rebuild trust, confidence, and self-love, especially when we spent decades putting others first. But I want to remind you, your story still matters. If you feel disconnected from your partner, start small. Sit beside them, not across. Ask about something from their past. Hold their gaze for just a moment longer than usual. And if you're alone, please remember, connection can take many forms. A phone call, a community event, a journal, a prayer, a pet. Even watching this video, you are part of a quiet circle of hearts, just like yours, learning, healing, remembering who they are. There is no shame in your body, no shame in desire, no shame in needing help or asking questions or feeling uncertain. You are not behind. You are right where you are meant to be. Sometimes we carry shame without even realizing it, about our aging skin, about needing medication, about no longer being able to do the things we once did with ease. But your body is not broken. It's a living, breathing map of where you've been, and it deserves tenderness, not judgment. So please, speak kindly to yourself. Eat food that nourishes not just your body, but your joy. Move your limbs like they are still worthy of rhythm. Stand in front of a mirror and smile, not because you feel beautiful, but because you are. And if you're struggling, please don't isolate yourself in silence. Talk to someone, a friend, a therapist, a doctor, a trusted voice. You don't have to carry everything alone. You never did. As for what I want my grandchildren to know, I want them to see that aging is not a curse, it's a privilege. That a slower life can still be a full one. That intimacy can deepen with age. That love in all its forms is always within reach if we stay open to it. I want them to know that growing older doesn't mean growing smaller. That we can still dance, still dream, still fall in love with our lives again, even if we've forgotten how. And I want you to know it's never too late. Not for laughter, not for love, not for the kind of peace that comes when you finally accept yourself as you are. Thank you, dear friend, for spending this time with me. If these words meant something to you, if they wrapped around your heart or brought a quiet tear to your eye, I invite you to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe to The Age of Beauty. Because together, we are rewriting the story of aging one tender truth at a time. You are not alone, and your beauty, your wisdom, your spirit are still growing strong. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You are so deeply loved.